Capture. All right. I'm going to throw a cylinder. And cylinders are a very important. Oh, you guys, I'm starting. Sorry. With the videos. Cylinders are an important form to learn to throw because a lot of pots are based on throwing a cylinder and shaping them to make cups, mugs, vases, the body of a teapot, body of a jar, tumblers. So I'm using a 1 pound ball of clay. The assignments I give my students can vary, so every one of my students, make sure that you read the details of the assignment so that you're following the proper parameters. With the cylinder, I'm going to go for a floor thickness of about 3/8 of an inch. You can go up to an inch if you want. It's just the thicker the floor, the less clay you're going to have for height. With my students, I expect their cylinders and cups to have a trim foot. And so that very center on the underside needs to be trimmed out as well. So you need to leave a decent amount of clay. Let's see. Okay, that's good. And there'll be a flat floor. And you want about 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter for the interior of the floor. Compress. If you have the diameter of the floor smaller, you're going to have more clay for height, and with your assignment I'm probably expecting a certain height with the 1 pound ball of clay. So in some ways you're not learning the most, getting the most out of the assignment if you make a narrower cylinder. So don't cop out. Okay, the hand on the inside stays firmly planted for pulling the wall so that I don't lose the diameter that I've set for the floor. Okay, so inside hand's firmly planted. Now as I come up, I can let the inside hand give. With cylinders, I tend to make a conical shape like this for the first couple of pulls. And that's because centrifugal force is going to cause the rim to want to flare out anyway, so this is to help compensate for that. Another thing you can do before the wall gets very thick is you can collar, you can bring this in tighter. It's going to be harder to do that when the wall's thin. Okay, this part is so narrow that sides of my hand are going to touch, so use water. And you can adjust the shape of your hand so it'll fit into a smaller space. So at this point, my hands probably can't touch while I'm working, but as soon as I'm able, I join them and I have more control. And notice that my left elbow is pressed up against the side of my body. Adds control. Some wobbles are okay. Don't let them get too far out of hand before you correct them. So I'm just using the rib to fix that and get rid of the throw rings. And that's a matter of preference. So with the cylinders, you're trying to get fairly just straight up and down form. I don't want the shapes to be fancy. They should be boring, because I want to see that you're able to throw a cylinder. Let's see what's the height of this. So this is 5.5 inches, and to get the water out, maybe you have one of those sponges on a stick. Otherwise you can just fold the needle tool, or fold the sponge and jab the needle tool through the sponge to create your own. But you want to get all that slip and water out. Otherwise your floor will end up cracking later in the drying. Alright, so let's get rid of a little bit of that slip on the edge. Okay, so that's the cylinder. I will go ahead and cut this in half though, so you can see what it looks like, see what the thickness looks like. For cylinders, because the wall is perfectly upright, I don't need a lot of clay thickness down here, like with bowls. Okay, but I have plenty of thickness on the base so I can trim a foot properly.